welcome to another album review. Today we'll be doing Mesarthim's Isolate. Isolate is an album that totally lives up into its name, in that when you listen to the album you really feel like you're on an epic journey, but only by yourself. I mean, it definitely traverses the imagery from any kind of science fiction you might have ever written, you know. I mean, it definitely is an album that evokes a lot of emotions and feelings and thoughts. You know, it's definitely something you would put on and you would just zone out on all sorts of different things inside yourself, you know. As far as instrumentation goes, everything seems to be like a very cohesive whole, you know. All the guitars, all the drum parts, all the keyboard parts really make this epic, almost symphonic sound, even though I don't really feel that the album itself is majorly symphonic. It also has a weird way about making it almost like a dubstep black metal, which is actually kind of cool. Even though it definitely doesn't go full-hearted into it, you know, it's not gonna make you want to dance or anything as far as that, but it almost likens back to Dark Knight Rises, you know, the soundtrack for that. You know, you have this huge symphonic sound, but underneath all that, or in its breaking parts, you know, there's definitely this electronic feel to it. So I definitely think it's very modern sounding in that it doesn't feel like old black metal releases where all the instruments were so loud and trebly and broken and fuzzed out. You know, everything is very well orchestrated, and it's definitely heavy, but I feel like more like the album itself is set in movements. You know, I mean, heavy in a way where you're like, you can definitely tell it's a metal band, but not heavy enough where, you know, it totally breaks up your thought process. It's more thought evoking than breaking apart. I definitely really like the keyboard parts in this album, and that too definitely kind of made me think of like John Carpenter's Halloween or the Thing, and where he would write these themes, you know, for the movies. And it seems like the artist really put a lot of time to make these themes underneath his vocal parts, which really stick in your brain. You know, they repeat and they're really beautiful, and at the same time kind of simplistic to the point where it really drills into you. You know, you can hum them and sing them, which is pretty awesome for a black metal band that kind of go that way. When I looked these guys up, they had a bunch of subcategories for black metal, and I was just like, you know, I hate subcategories. If it's a black metal band, it's a black metal band. You know, I'm not gonna go by these million different categories. You know, and I think it detracts from this band actually making a step in the right direction for black metal as a whole. You know, I mean, it's very obviously not everybody is going to enjoy this album like that might be into just regular heavy metal, but I definitely think it is a very accessible album for those that, you know, maybe want a little slower pace for black metal. You know, it's definitely a portrait. You know, he paints so many different pictures, you know, with not only the instruments and the feel, but, you know, also with his vocals. You know, his vocals are very well arranged to kind of, you know, ebb and flow over the music. You know, and I definitely found that the album itself had this weird swingy feel. You know, not that it has like that jazz kind of, it sticks with you, but I mean, even though it's the farthest thing from jazz, but it definitely has its own heartbeat to it. As far as epicness, you know, the only thing I could really think of would be like Hammerheart era, you know, Bathory, where it kind of gives this Viking emotion to it that feels so at home, you know, maybe in black metal, but definitely too, it's hard to to compare it to that. The album itself is really hard to compare to anything, within the genre. I mean, and there's artists like that popping up all around, but I definitely think, as of lately, this artist really took something and made something very genuine and different. Also, if you look at the album, cover, it gives you this cosmic sort of feeling about it, which I think the artist really wanted to portray, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed different lyrical content, and this album definitely should have been on like a movie. I think it definitely evokes a lot of different imagery. I mean, you could see so many different things. So anyone looking to kind of find something different within the black metal genre, I would definitely tell them to go get Isolate. It's just great from start to finish, and it's another one of those albums where you can kind of like put on and do anything too, talk or listen or have a couple of beers and just chill out, which is kind of ingenious for a black metal album. So if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment box below, and feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. And as always, we thank you so much for watching our reviews.